I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome back to Pregaming here on Sports Money. Let me check something out here, make sure we're okay. Get this thing rolling once again. And welcome back. Happy Monday to everybody. You're one day closer to the weekend already. Big Easter weekend coming up. No UFC show this Saturday, but we're going to have a special treat on Friday night. Then we're all going to have the weekend off. We're going to have a PFL Friday night extravaganza. PFL moves to Friday. They had a Friday show last week. They had the Friday show this week, and they'll fly back into Thursdays where we will continue Thursday night live coverages here. But this is an interesting week. We've got the NHL boils its season down to the next 4 days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Nothing going on Friday, and the playoffs start on Saturday. Then we look and we've got ourselves the NBA. They'll start their play-in coverage on Tuesday. Nothing, I believe. Let me double check. Nothing on Thursday from the schedule perspective. So it only made sense that we roll in on Friday for a nice, fun little treat. Unique little Friday live show here, but should be a nice way to get into the weekend and enjoy a nice night off of UFC. Although Saturday's UFC show was another banger. Lots of great plays. You guys were on fire in the chat. We've caught some big plus money spots. It's always great when you start the show off with like a plus 750. Then I think we followed it up. I forgot what that round 2 KO was for our guy Tulio. I think it was like plus 350. And away we went. So it was good money to be made. Ups, not as many downs. So that's always going to be a better way to finish off the show. And we've been firing. You know, we had a terrible March. I talked about this with March Madness and the favorites and the chalk. And anytime you see that, I'm not going to have the best run. But man, last week was like everything shifted and it just holistically healed all those faults that were. It was a huge week. You can follow it over at BetStamp and see it for yourselves, but it was just a great week. Almost net 10 units for our enhanced members. So I was really happy to be able to get that out to you guys over the last 7 days, Monday through Sunday. We swept the board yesterday with our 3-0 picks. We went 2-1 on the ribeyes. Gave those out to everybody for action. And hey, trying to give you guys an opportunity to find a couple dollars to upgrade your memberships and get yourselves involved in our silver and gold enhanced program out there. More to come. More flying around the pike. These afternoon games, soccer games, things that are popping off when we don't have streams. You guys have been asking us for more plays. We want to give you more plays. We'll handpick the plays that we're invested with, and we'll share them with you guys so that we can all win money, and you'll find them over on the post tab. Of course, there's a couple things I wanted to point out today. You know, first of all, recap-wise, we had a nice little Friday. We picked up a little over 3 units on Friday. Pretty solid overall, considering the NBA has been nothing but a minefield out there. We got 2-0 in the NBA. We cashed the Denver minus 6.5. They win the game by 8. We cashed Golden State by 14, and they won the game by 17. So sweaty, but winners. Did we sweep the NHL? No, we did not. The under 6 in Detroit and Tampa Bay was a 7. And Detroit ends up winning the game in overtime. So Tampa was not eye on the prize, but you know, we cashed the over 5.5 in Calgary. They got a 6-packer, 4-2 final. We got the under 6.5 in Edmonton. Crushed the line movement on both those. Almost 4% CLV on both of those from when the plays were out there. And we split baseball. Had a push too with the Cincinnati-Pittsburgh under 8. But all in all, not a bad way to roll into the weekend. And then it was just bang away this weekend. It was a lot of fun making that money. And I hope you guys got some too. Let's see, what else do we have going on here? Shout out to Rory McIlroy, the big winner for the Masters this weekend. You know, I'm not a Roars fan, although he does pal around my town from time to time, his wife being from this area. I just don't like what he has to say about how he doesn't like golfing in America because they get drunk and they talk shit. Well, that's the way we do it, Rory. And you're Irish, and you get drunk, and you talk shit. So deal with it. But congratulations. Congratulations. You know, the fact that I love the story there. I mean, he was definitely shook up. Tears, talking about getting ready to celebrate next week with his mom and dad and all the extra jobs and things that they took on the side so that they could support this guy going out there to figure out how to play golf, and now completes his Grand Slam. Big winner, and congratulations. Money pit. That's a money pit. If you got him pre-flop, good for you. 14-1 for Rory. Back and forth. Bryson, Justin, Rose, just all it ends up being chalk anyways. But we expected that. Now they'll move on to the RBC Heritage. Fun little South Carolina track that they'll get involved with this week. Last year's winner was Scotty Scheffler, so we'll see how chalky that is. Something might not be entirely right with Scotty. I know Ramon was talking about it on the morning steam with that hand injury, right? The cut in the hand. What was he doing? I forgot. He was cutting something. Cut his hand is what he cut. And it just hasn't quite been right since. Probably. See, I'm one of those guys where I've cut my fingers plenty of times. I almost cut this thumb off not that long back. You can see probably the white line that goes right down the center of it. The only thing that stopped that thumb from cutting off was the nail. Scars hurt, especially when you're swinging a golf club. And some people will say, no, it's in your head. I say, bullshit. I know when my finger hurts after I've been swinging a golf club and wearing away the patch that is the outside of the skin there. So we'll see how that works out for Scotty Scheffler as he gets ready to do his thing this week here and try to maybe have a little bit better round. Obviously, he does not get the Masters back-to-back. We knew it was going to be tough. There's only been 3 times in history that somebody's repeated the Masters in back-to-back spots, as we broke it down for you guys last week. So also, because there's no UFC this Saturday, there will be no First Strike on Wednesday. So we're going to get some more rugby loaded out there. The boys fired away again. I hope you guys are checking out the rugby action. Those boys are firing now. They've got their groove. They've got their mojo. They've got their momentum, and they're turning it into money in our pockets. So you definitely got to check those plays out there. And we gave away we had some contest entries. Lots of ties, lots of opportunities for some duck racing on Friday. We've got some winners of the number of decision parlay. All we asked you guys to do was watch the video at the very end of it, smack it in there, and tell us how many times you think the fights will go to decision. I believe there was a 3-way tie for that. We also talked about the main card and picking your final winners. We got a couple of winners on those as well. I think there's 5 of those winners. So we'll pop that into a duck race, and we'll see what else happens this week as we continue along and try to make that money here. We're getting close to it. It's playoff time. NHL, NBA, MLB starting to heat up for us. We've had a really nice MLB stretch here. This past week was really, really where things started popping into gear. What I wanted to talk to you guys about here, and I posted this, I'll give you guys a quick little demonstration here as we get rolling, because it's a lighter card. We got 6 plays that we're going to talk about here, but I want to show you something. Let me show you something. Actually, I should probably do it from here. Let me do it from here, just so everybody can follow along at home. You check it out. I talk about the posts, and it's at the post. It's this, the post that, the post this, the post that. Home videos shorts. This is our Sports Money YouTube homepage. Home videos shorts. There's the live shows, playlist, and then post. Here's the posts. This is what we're always talking about with the posts. Now, inside the posts, you give her a click, you'll see some of those plays. There's that 2-in-1 day, Muncie and Raleigh. Unfortunately, Suarez has done me dirty a couple of times now. Here was the 3-0 package that we gave out there, a plus 150, a plus 145, and I think these guys were like minus 140. You'll see that we've got the playbook out there. The UFC playbook was on absolute fire. Lots of green in there this week, not by accident. We're getting pretty darn good at this thing here. Some would say the best. But I wanted to show this to you guys today. There's lots of ways to play the NHL as you get down to it, and a lot of people will just back out. They'll say, I'm not going to get involved these last 4 days of the season. I say, oh, I'm not going to say that. Let me recant that. Look at this, though. The way I looked at this here is we've got milestones. We've got NHL milestones. We've got guys that are chasing 20 goals and guys that are chasing 30 goals. So what that means is they got lots of reason and incentive to be playing these games. Surprisingly, or not surprisingly, some of the teams that were not there, they're not good. And I'm really not surprised. Like, you look at San Jose, you look at like the Devils, you look at these teams that are out of it. They don't have any players playing for any incentives at this point of the season. It's just a snooze fest. But you'll see one goal away from 30, one goal away from 20. And obviously there's guys that are 2 and 3 goals back from these milestones as well. But this is where you'll try to find or see some contract incentives. If these players can get to 20 goals on the season or 30 goals on the season, sometimes the coffers get opened up by ownership, and they might have a shit season like the Detroit Red Wings. But a guy like Dylan Larkin in play tonight against that Dallas Stars, he's priced at a plus 200. What I did over on the right-hand side is I put the date of their games. I've got the price tag in there. I'm playing it. I round robin these guys, because if we can get 2 of them in there, we can catch a 10-1 type of price tag. So I round robin these fellas, but what I'm going to tell you is this. I'm going to track them. I kind of have this suspicion here. We're not going to just track, I'm going to take Baltimore's run line every single day and see how you can do that. You don't have to track it. ESPN tracks that for you. But what I'm going to track here is playing these guys individually. Do we see any money that rolls out at the end of the day here? Look at this Dadonov on Dallas. He's not honorable mention. He's got 19 goals on the season. 475 is the biggest tag, the biggest ticket on the card tonight to find a way to go out there and produce a goal. And just a couple of games left, predominantly across the board. Only one player on this list has 1 game left on the season. It's Brian Rust. And that game will be Thursday. They will close the season off on Thursday. And Brian Rust needs 1 goal to get himself to that 30-pack. So you can find this over on the post tab. Just something to think about when you're looking at these big, juicy favorites, right? You see the LA Kings at minus 350s and, the Vancouver Canucks at minus 300. How do you attack it? Well, maybe you think about, maybe not necessarily Sherwood at plus 310, but how about Sherwood over 1.5 shots on goal, parlayed with Vancouver to make it an even number price tag? It's getting creative at the end of the season to try to find a way to make this into plus money. So I wanted to share that with you guys. It was something I put together this afternoon. Again, my takeaway was, I'm not surprised that some of these teams are that bad. They got no players playing for anything. And I'll give you a sneak peek too. I like Buchnevich tomorrow. I like the St. Louis Blues. There's a big trend there on St. Louis. And here's one of their key guys sitting there 1 goal away from number 20 on the season. So I think that's a lot of fun. Play around with it. Check it out. It's available for everybody, regardless of your meta level of support here at Sports Money. Just another tool put together to help you guys capitalize on finishing out this NHL season. So again, day of the week, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games in play. I do know that it's like I think it's 10,000 to 1. No, I think it's 5,500 to 1 if you parlay all those guys together tonight. Don't ask me how I know it. I'm a sick degenerate, but I thought that was a pretty cool feature to help everybody try to get to the window. And again, it's out there for everybody to check out on the post tab. Thank you guys all for jumping in here. Again, tremendous weekend. Man, we literally, if I show you this, you guys probably be like, whoa, what? Really? Huh? I mean, it's amazing. Look at this. Look at this. Let me show you something. I gotta get my fire marshal bill in check. Oh, it's not working for me. There it is. There it is. Check this out. We track it all at BetStamp. Look at this. Now, I don't fuck around with the Fugazi here. I'm not going to give you guys a 5-unit, a 6-unit, a 10-unit. Everything we play is 1 unit. Use a unit as $100 a measurement. You want to play it for a quarter unit or a fifth of, I don't care what your unit size is. I track it all in $100 increments here. Doesn't matter how much I play them for. Believe you me. Those $100 days are long beyond. 29.8 units last week. 29.30 units from last Monday through this Monday. No plays in place yet today. So 30 units. That was the week that we had last week. It doesn't hurt that we went 11-0 on Monday. Now, we only have 6 plays out there tonight. We got the Rangers in Florida, Dallas, and Detroit. We'll go into that Utah-Nashville game. I added one. I actually have a 7th game. I am going to tackle that Montreal and Chicago Blackhawks battle of, well, they are still battling, in all fairness. Montreal 1 point away from the playoffs. Then we'll move over to the MLB. I've got 3 spots for you there. Boston and Tampa Bay, Kansas City and the Yankees, and we'll wrap her up with Scooble and the Detroit and Milwaukee spot. You know, I don't really love this card, especially on it's a tricky card. Dallas lost 5 straight games in the NHL. How do you get involved? Vancouver, do you want to lay minus 300 on Vancouver? You shouldn't want to. And then if you look at San Jose team total under 2.5, it's priced to the moon. And then you got the Kings, and the Kings line has moved from minus 105 all the way up to minus 160s. Probably the under is the best game or best way to attack that game. So I'll dig into the RBIs. I had a friend stop by this afternoon. We were doing some of this and some of that. So, that's right. Nobody reminded me to zoom out. So I haven't had a ton of time to jump into the RBI game. I'll be ready for Sharpie's show tomorrow. And I got some new things coming here along the lines of baseball. So get ready, get set. I believe we'll have the first one out tomorrow. So lots of fun. Lots of things happen. Just, you get hot. You want to stay hot. That way you don't have to get hot again. And let's capitalize. Well, the iron is hot. Speaking of capitalizing here, the best thing that we could do or that you guys could do for us is smash that thumbs up button. We want to capitalize on this momentum that we have. Want to grow this audience. And I know there's a lot of places you could be to get your best bets and your selections, but it means a lot that you're here. Love the comments. You guys have really upped the comment game, which does help tremendously. We can see that YouTube loves to see that kind of stuff as well. The comments, the likes, the retweets, the post, all that stuff is great for us. We really appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, if you've been making some great money off, you're looking to, share a little bit of that love with us for an extra $5, you can become a silver member, grab these premium plays. But all of that aside, the most impactful thing you can do is smack that thumbs up button. Close the chat, hit the thumbs up, pop it back open, and let's see if we can't blow these numbers through the roof this week and get all kinds of new faces in here, all kinds of sharp bettors giving their best bets so we can all make more moolah. And that's it. That's all you had to do. Smack it real fast. Smack it real fast. Now get that pen and paper out real quick because we're going to run through the best chat in the business, what they've got for best bets. We're going to get going here. Our first action starts at 7 p.m. I know there's a bunch of opportunities out there on the card here. I'm just looking through it myself right now here with some of these. Gosh, I wanted to hammer on the Pirates stink with Skeens right now. And they're 1-2. The Pirates stink in general. They're not scoring. They're not striking. They're not slugging the bats. And anytime you find that, you're not going to have success with your primary. And it's unfortunate because Skeens will waste away in mediocrity, but he's got to live he done. So I'm not going to feel too bad for that guy. The Phillies and Giants. My index shows this should be an over game. Lots of line movement towards the Giants. We'll start our card off with the Red Sox and Rays and the MLB side of things. So we've got plenty of time to go. Plenty of time. Let's get to it, though. Let's not dilly-dally for the sake of dilly-dallying. Check it out, though. We got a guy, Jover, popping us off with an over to pop this card off here. Our number one commenter. Put your best bets in the chat so we can recognize what you guys are on here. Like I said, I'd rather just have you guys all have plays in the chat. I just read them off. That would be best for me. It would save me a lot of work. But in all fairness, I love to see what you guys are on. I love the streaks you guys are building. I love the messages you guys are sending me, too. So we got some fucking crazies out there. And it's always nice and refreshing to get a message that talks about how much money you guys won and appreciative of that. So I'm appreciative that you take the time to reach out to us there. That's how we're going to grow this thing that is sports money. And we're going to do it all together. So Jover coming in here, fresh back from vacay, looking at the Cubs Padres. He's going to go over 7.5. Got a little Dylan Cease on the bump, and he's going to go to the over. Unfortunately, we saw the Cubs had to shut down Justin Steele, and he's done for the whole year. Can you believe that? 2 games in or whatever, 3 games in, and Justin Superman of Steele is not so Superman. That elbow hanging off like a chicken wing. Overcooked. But we wish him a speedy recovery. I'm sure he'll be back next year. Probably the best thing for him. Avoid that sophomore slump. Let's go. Gerald Jones is on a streak himself. Look at this. Cash is over again on Friday. And he's got 35 and 20. Look at this man flying with us here. He's been cooking the books. I know right back into the beginning of March. He's been on a hell of a heater. And he's going -1 for the Habitats, Montreal. Go get him, my guy. Gerald Jones, thank you for sharing. He's on an 8-2 run on top of that. 35 and 20. 8-2 his last 10. Joe Dubs here. There we go. These are the messages I love seeing, my guy. Says, cheers, Mike. Thanks for a great weekend. Winning weekend. Great capping. Thanks, man. That was we settled into the groove right now, and we want to keep it going. Shout out to Smoke and Mirrors is here. Gorky's got the Tigers -2. He's taking a little scuba. Nicholas Handy's ready to roll. Gorky's going to give us some Bayern Munich basketball. Orlando Magic for tomorrow. Okay. I get down with some Euro hoops. It puts a smile on my face just saying it. Puts a smile on my face just saying it. There's Patrick. He's in the house. He says, let's go. Jay Main's here. Peter Gracia says, it's a new week. That's right. That's right. We stay humble. We stay grounded. And we grind every single day. We grind it through the bad times. We try to feel pretty good about the good times here, but it's all in the past. We also got a fresh card today, 0-0. Gorky says the playoffs start Saturday for the NBA. Each and every stride, my guy Keith is here. He's been busy. Big moving weekend for our guy here, but he did make some time. He says, big sports week to get paid. Ken Woods in the house has said it was a good night. Thanks for everything. Thanks, man. Thanks. Some dickhead was out there saying we were 2-11. Fucking crazies. Old E in the house. Let's go. Shout out to you, Old E. Smoke Mirror says, did you get a new cam? I did not. It's the same cam. Does it look better? Does it look worse? You tell me. Look better? Look worse? Ignatius Penny Feather the 7th says, catch that nice plus 175 ribeye last night, Mike. Thank you. Yeah, man. Muncie, I was bad, though. I'm on Sharpie's show, and I talked about how I like Crow Armstrong. Kid's coming in from college. He had a great college career. I believe it was Arizona State. First cut. I went to Will Smith instead of, and I spent 90 minutes after I looked through them all and I wrote it down. I had Crow Armstrong and Will Smith, and I went to Will Smith, and Crow Armstrong got not one, but 2 home runs. Broke my heart, but we'll get back to him. Thanks. Looks like I got it. Thanks, man. I was outside catching up with some friends, doing the thing that we do out there. Got to get outside a little more. Red Beard says he'll never swing a golf club again. Lost his finger to a motor. My buddy asked me today. He's like, are you going to go get golfing again? I said, probably not. I lost all the ligaments in my knee. I got nothing when I backswing. Man, I told you guys, probably think I'm lying. We used to play 10 rounds a weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 10 rounds. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And, yeah, it was expensive. But, makes my back hurt just thinking about it. Shout out to Robert McCormick's here. Big Scott 5-10 says new week, new money. Plays on tonight are the Nats Pirates first 5 over 3.5, and he's going to Toronto. He's going to the Blue Jays to get her done down there in hot Atlanta. I kind of like I like the Jays too. Kind of like the under. It's kind of leaning to the under, especially the first 5. I didn't officially play anything there though. So good luck to you, my friend Big Scott. I know he was rolling with us on Saturday. Gerald Jones has tailed Muncie last night. Oh, nice, dude. Love to see it. People used to laugh. Oh, you can't make money on these things. Why can't you? You can't make money when you play a dog at plus 150? Why? You can't make money when you play a guy that's seen, how about this? Salvador Perez, 32 at-bats against Cookie Monster Carrasco, and he's averaging a 242. You can't make money on that? How can you not make money on that? Yeah, write them down. I'd do it. I'd do the thing. I'd show you my paper, but fuck, my writing's atrocious. I like Mookie bets tonight. Throw a little Mookie action in your considerations as well. Gerald Jones has played some NBA NHL Championship 2 parlays today. All right. What do you got? Let's hear them. $5 bonus bet on Nerfies. So I got a new theory. I'm going to try out. This new theory is, I think I've been going about it all, not a lot of data, but greedy. We dominated the up by 2 runs early, right? Remember those last year in the end? And we were all laughing because we were all saying I got limited. We all got limited because we were crushing them so much. We even had the stats talking about the away teams and yada, yada, yada. DraftKings has been doing the home run, no sweat bets. And me, like an asshole, I've been trying to go 6, 7, 8 deep. What are the odds of getting that? I think maximizing those bets with 2 home runs and just getting the max bonus back is probably the way to go about it. So regardless, of what you can do, $50, $100, $20, $5, doesn't matter. It's a free swing, literally a free swing. I put two guys together tonight. I put two guys in the fold tonight, so we're going to keep an eye on that. Big Scott says we'll be on Suzuki anytime goal. Fuck yeah. Number 30, baby. Hell yeah. Plus 140 is what he got. Gerald Jones, Nerfy parlay, good. Redbeard in the house. Says Red Sox, money line. Skeens over 7.5 Ks. Thinks he bounces back. Subhuman Gaucho's here. J Main like Scooble, 8 Gus plus Ks, and the Detroit money line. Nice too. Tarek B says great UFC Saturday. Thanks, man. Appreciate you guys all working together with us here. MMA Jeff, Subhuman Gaucho, and I. Keith, each and every stride was there. C-Mac, we had Penny, Spenny Bombs. It was a good crew. It was fun, man. It's just fun. Fun time. Fun times. Okay. Ignacia Penny Feather, the 7th, is going to up his sub tomorrow. Appreciate that, man. We lots of gifted subs. So the idea was just an extra $5. Just an extra $5. Get yourself an upgrade there. Smoke says the pick looks okay. Thanks, man. Keep that in mind. I don't know. You know what I did? I changed some lighting. Maybe that's part of it too. Joseph Alvarado says sports money for life. Okay. Subhuman says I agree. Big Scott Suzuki got a goal, a good spot. Think he's 2+. Well, let's go. Let's talk. We might as well talk about that game. Who says we can't do what we want to do around here? This is our shit. This is how we want to do it around here. You guys want to talk about this La Habitants game? I'll talk to you about this Habitants. And I'll tell you right off the gate, I'm taking the puck line with Les Habitants, the -1.5. These boys are 1 point. They need to win, essentially, to clinch this playoff position. Montreal does. So you got the Blackhawks. The question is, do they play with their food? Well, they better not, because they need one win. And they got Carolina next. Now, Carolina, say what you will, but fresh squad with fresh lineup, fresh goaltending. And they're going to finish their season off with a little Montreal-Ottawa Northeast extension, we'll call it, from my Philadelphia days. We'll call it the Northeast extension out there, getting into Canada to finish off with 2 games north of the border. So I think Montreal comes into this game fired up and ready to go. Now, we're not just going to stop there. You know, we're going to dig into this thing and look behind the scenes. Soderblom will start. Soderblom, he stinks. He's 3-7-4 with a 3.51 goals against average. And look, pretty good his last start. So he had a 93.9% save percentage. But pump your brakes, it was the Bruins. And they're god-awful. So, now, we roll over on the other side of things, and what do we see? Well, I talked about Montembeault. He's the go-to. He's 2.88 goals against average and 89.8% save percentage. We know they need the win to get the playoffs. And they got the hot hand in Montembeault. 2.01 goals against average. Here's the overlay. 4-1 since the start of April. So things get going. He's going. He gone from a 2.88 goals against average to a 2.01, a 92.8 save percentage, up from an 89.8% save percentage. Big things happening for this opportunity. Now, it's not just stopping there. The Blackhawks, yeah, they are 2-1-1 in their last 4. But if you, aforementioned list, there's nobody on this Blackhawks team playing for any incentives. Partly because they're all young dudes. They got minimum contracts and they're not making the playoffs. So you could say it's potentially a punt. But where I think the temperature is going to be amped up a little bit. First of all, the Blackhawks on the road after a road game find themselves at a 1-5 position. 1.7 goals is the margin. So we check the box and being able to cover the puck line. They're also 1-4-1 to the under, meaning they're not scoring. But you saw that. You guys talked about it. Suzuki leads the list, the first closest guy to get to 30 on the list. Maybe it's because he's alphabetical. I'm not sure why. He started at the top. But he has been an absolute terror since the Five Nations tournament. Let me give you just a little push over the edge to jump with me on this side of here. Ivan Damadov. Now you're probably sitting there going, who? Well, let me share with you who that is. He is the 5th overall pick last season. He had 19 goals and 49 points in the KHL this season. If you don't know, that's what about the Russian counterpart to the NHL. But it's probably the second best tier of hockey you could play across the globe. If you want a validation point, a guy named Mishkov for the Philadelphia Flyers came over from the KHL and lit the world on fire. So you got a nice up-and-coming rookie coming into this thing here, 5th overall draft pick. You got Suzuki needs to go out there and score. You got a fade position for the Blackhawks in 1-5 with a 1.7 margin, and you got a Montreal team that's one win away from making the playoffs and Carolina on deck. There's nowhere else to look than Montreal minus 1.5. There's no consideration for me whatsoever with all those circumstances. They're not bringing in Demidov to fuck around and find out. They're coming in here to let the world get put on notice that they got themselves a guy. Kind of weird bringing him in with 2 games left before the playoffs. And look, who knows? We saw Mishkov with a bad team around him goes out there and fires. Demidov to get a goal at any time is plus 240. If you're looking at Suzuki, think about parlaying a little Demidov opportunity with this guy because I think the sky is the limit for that young buck. I think it's good money to be made on that thing. And it's minus 110. Oh, it's minus 110, so it's not horrible. It's not the worst piece that's out there. Yeah. Sub's going to try to get cute. He's going to go 2+ points. Sub, do me a favor and add Demidov in there for us, will you? Sub came off a big prop winner today in footy action. I know that for a fact. Chris says Demidov's a 5th overall pick. Absolutely. 5th overall pick. With that guy out there, that dude. Watch him tonight. I think he's going to be phenomenal. Man, those guys in the KHL, they come out there and they start firing. It's not by accident. It's not by accident they're out there killing it. They're just good. Just good players. Got drafted high. Should be a good player behind it. And I thought it was the best kept secret earlier, but apparently a lot of people have gotten wise to Demidov coming back. So look out for Montreal. They're going to put the world on notice. Probably going to end up playing. We're going to play Ottawa in the playoffs. Probably. Sucks. I don't know if it sucks. We'll see. Let's go. Rangers and Florida Panthers. Excuse me. Will pop off at 7 p.m. as well. Shesterkin and Bobrovsky. And I believe this is a situation where Tampa and Florida will be jockeying for position in the playoffs. That's what's pretty much at stake with these two teams out there. And look, yeah, you've got Shesterkin. He's not the Shesterkin of old. Sometimes I feel like I beat up on the same guy so much over the course of the season. I'm just tired of doing it. Shesterkin, you've exhausted me because you're mediocre at best. Your race to the middle has been exceptional. And you've got a 2.91 goals against average, a 90.3% save percentage. Okay. Bobrovsky, on the other hand, 2.48 goals against average, 90.7% save percentage. And look, the thing about this game for me, the sharp bettors did come in here and clip on this thing. Florida does have Tampa next. They will close the season out on the road in that game, and they are jockeying for position. So Florida, theoretically, should come out and kick the shit out of these boys. Florida did have a little struggle, though. They had themselves like a 7-game losing streak before finally beating Toronto 3-1, Detroit 4-1, and Buffalo 3-2. The common theme there, they're scoring 3+ goals in those games. Florida wins, they score. Bottom line. But what I have to look at for this thing here is not so much Florida, but how about the Rangers? Here's another team. Nobody playing for any incentives. That's important. We're not going to see anybody diving in front of any pucks. We're not going to see anybody going out there playing balls out to try to get hurt before they go on vacation. Big factor. Now, the Rangers close their season out against Tampa Bay as well. This will be the third leg on the road. This isn't the thing for me with this game is look at the losses that these guys have amounted here. These guys completely shit the bed rolling into the playoffs. Why? Goaltending sloppy. They're not stopping pucks. Nobody's playing for any incentives. They let 4 goals get in on them against the Devils. So it got shut out 4-0. 5 goals against Tampa. 8 goals against Philadelphia. They scored 9 on the Islanders, and then they came back and got a 7-pack put on them from Carolina. Those aren't game totals. Those are their totals. Those are defensive totals out there. And almost every single one of those games, the amount they've let in crosses over the over in itself here. What we've got when the total is less than 6, and you got a home team lined less than a minus 190. I'm sorry, plus less than a plus 196. So they're not an outrageous dog. Let me start that over. Total's less than a 6. Home team, not an outrageous dog. Those games go over. 13-3. The margin of victory is key for us in those spots as well. It's 1.7 goals a game. I don't care if it's Shesterkin. He's not the force and terror that he used to be. I think there's a great opportunity for this game for Florida to get 6 goals on their own. And, they're going to want to rack them, sack them, tack them high, and then try to see what they can do to fight off that Tampa spot to get the better home. I mean, that's home. They're playing for home ice when they play Tampa. So get as many points as you can in now. I don't think there's anything else but a victory here with the over. We're going to take the over in this Panthers game. Despite our Thursday under trends, we'll take this over. 13-3 in a 16-game sample qualifies and opens up for this game. Game number 3, we're going to go to Subhuman Gauchos. Detroit Red Wings. My friend Sub loves him some Red Wings. I think he loves himself. I don't know about baseball. I gotta find out if I don't know if he's a baseball guy. I don't know if Sub, you get behind Detroit and Scooble or what? Oh, there we go. Kelly V says Verhaeghe is playing for 6. Yeah, even better. Even better. He's on the report. He is on the list. Carter Verhaeghe is playing for goal number 20. Thanks for correcting me there. He's on the list over at the post tab. You'll find Verhaeghe. And I got him parlayed. Like I said, he is parlayed. Of course, there he is. Sub does like the Tigers too. All right. I figured. Michigan State. You got to learn your buddies. Can't learn your buddies. Can't make fun of them when their team loses. And Sub had plenty of opportunities to do that with my Flyers this year. So, not my Phillies, though. Not my Phillies. Maybe my Blue Jays. Here, but it's all good. Interesting spot for this game here. Dallas Stars. Talk about not wanting to fall into the playoffs here. 5 straight losses with Jake Ottinger. Now, they have officially confirmed they will shut down Ottinger and about a half a dozen guys. This is their last game. This is it. No more regular season. And partly because they're playing on, was it Saturday? I think they got caught. There's nothing, Dallas doesn't have any, there's nothing Dallas gains by winning or losing this game. They're locked into their position that they are locked into. Ottinger's allowed 4 goals on 35 shots in his most recent outing. He's 2.51 goals against average with a 91 point. I mean, he's one of the elite in the league. Albeit he hasn't necessarily performed like that. The Stars did have a, 4-0 loss to Winnipeg. Stayed under. Winnipeg and Dallas. How could that not be under? I remember having a few cocktails and laughing excessively about how that was all under. Draw a line. But anyways, on the other side of things here, the Red Wings took down that Tampa Bay team 4-3. So you're starting to see some of these teams that don't have shit to play for cycling themselves out. And the Red Wings have officially been eliminated from the playoffs. They will go to Talbot. It's been playing pretty decent. 2.4 goals against average on the season. Better than his 2.88 on the, 2.4 since the month of April. 2.88 on the season. They're just not scoring. This is that team where I remember saying to some, I can't believe it. We watched a game together. I said, dude, it's so hard watching this team. They get amazing scoring chances. They just can't bury the biscuit. And they come into this one as a slight dog. Here's my thought process. You can't lose into the playoffs. And you got to take your goaltender and you got to build him up. So the only way to really effectively do that is to keep him from getting scored on, which means you play defense. Now, I did see, by the way, Heiskanen will not play the first game on Saturday for Dallas, by the way. Maybe an early opportunity to catch a good line and take Colorado. Probably going to bust these Stars up here, especially with the current form that they're in here. But if you're going to have a better chance to get your goalie confident and build up and just come in here ready to play defense and not blow out another game, not lose 6 in a row, well, none other than one of the worst teams since the month of April to go out there and play 5-on-5 hockey. That's the Detroit Red Wings, allowing 2.21 goals per 60 minutes of 5-on-5 situations. 10th worst in the NHL starting since the month of April. So things have gotten kicked into form, and they've kicked the Red Wings out of form, out of gear. That being said, on the other hand of things, though, again, I think the big focus here is motivate your goaltender, help him get confident again. And sometimes it's just a little thing like step in front of a shot. help him not be such a pathetic, floundering fish. Now the line's moved significantly against him, but it's also oscillated against the Red Wings. So the way for me on this game here was thinking about playoffs on deck. You got Colorado. Your goalie's not been performing great in this last couple of weeks. You got to play defense. Let's go out there and let's take an under 6.5. And I don't like all these unders necessarily, but who are we kidding? I've been playing a lot of unders this year, but I still think this is one of those situations where you take this, maybe you're cheating the books a little bit. Maybe that's all. It's a slump buster. It's the slump buster. Let your goalie go out there and stop everything, but like let him stop 29 to 30 shots. Start feeling like he's got a little confidence because he's going to need it playing that Colorado Avalanche team on Saturday. And the last game I've got for you guys in the NHL, we'll look at Utah and the Nashville Predators. Let's see what you guys have to say. Joe T, of course, is going to tout his Brewers. Corky says the Wings own Detroit. Okay. Redbeard says, let's be serious, Mike. Mets win the East. Stop it, Redbeard. There's nothing serious about that comment. You got a better chance to see the Braves do it. Okay. Onward, upward. We got last game in the NHL for you guys that I'm going to talk about. Eberg says, we're not going to make it. Yeah, we're going to make it, my friend. We're going to fly right through this one here. No need to exacerbate this one here. I'm going to take the under in this game as well. Nashville and Utah, while both teams are showing overs, we have the Central Division factors. When we've got a 6, the home team, 2-7-2 to the under. We also have the dog. Opponent's previous game on the road. And now a home team. Home dog. Unders. 102 to 51. Nashville and Utah. 6.5. As far as the list is concerned, there's a couple guys on this one. Ryan O'Reilly with Nashville at plus 275 needs 1 goal to make it to number 20. By the way, I forgot to mention, though, Dylan Larkin from the sub club there at Subs Boys in Detroit. 1 goal away from 30 at plus 200. Suzuki and Larkin felt like a great little same gamer today. Or not same gamer, but a parlay piece today between those two guys at big score. Also, I was looking at what else? Schmaltz Liquor is in play for this game as well. He needs 1 more goal to get himself to 20. So as you're considering this Nashville-Utah game, my overarching thought process here, these two teams are pretty much toast. The only thing I don't like, I would feel more comfortable. This is a weird line for me. Here's why. Who the fuck is Matt Villa Alta? He's going to make his first start of the season tonight. He has started before. They had Carl Vejmelka start 23 straight games. That was because Connor Ingram got hurt and out of this thing. This kind of goes back to what I mentioned in that last game. When you got a defender, or when you got a new goalie, an experienced goalie, you want to build his confidence up, you got to play some defense. This guy's got a 90.6% save percentage, a losing record at 17-21-3 with the Tucson Roadrunners. Nashville, though, lost 7 of their last 9 games. I don't expect them to put too much puck pressure on this guy. And they're a dog for a reason, I suspect in this case here. Saros, on the other hand of things, yeah, look, 39 of 42 saves his last time out. That was a shootout win over Utah. So it is a little revenge opportunity potentially for this Utah Mammoth squad out there. Utah does have points in 7 of their last 8, and because they're getting points, they're finding W's. They're 5-1-2. So I suspect that Utah wins this game as the favorite, but I do think it's a defensive-oriented effort. And despite Ryan O'Reilly needing an extra goal, I don't even think Ryan O'Reilly really cares. I think they're just checked out of this thing. Underwhelming expectations of this NHL season. So that be the way we go after it. We transition. We trade in the hockey stick. We pick up the wooden baseball bat for a 3-pack that we've got out here. Nasty Nate likes his Red Sox in the first 5. Well, we might as well start with this game, and I'm going to tell you, I am in on Tampa Bay. Tampa Boss. For a couple of reasons. 1, Tanner Houck's a piece. And I don't mean a dime piece. I mean the kind that goes in the brown bag and you light it on fire on the neighbor's porch. That kind of piece. On the flip side of things here, you can't win if you can't score. Right? If you can't get at least a run, you're not going to find wins. And that's where Boston's challenge has been in this game here. We also have a situation with line movement. 66% of the bets, 70% of the cash have moved on the Rays. It has moved the line. Only a couple cents, but still showing softness. If you like the Red Sox, you got to like them even more now. And the total's not moving at 8.5. It stayed at 8.5. 97% of the bets and 93% of the cash have bagged away on this over. Look, a couple of things you got to look at. 2 starts, 13 innings, reliability is Shane Baz. Only 2 runs allowed, 16 total strikeouts. The guy's firing. He's got a strikeout rate that should gas these Red Sox. Red Sox are striking out a quarter of the time against right-handed pitchers. A quarter. It's terrible. Will they be bad forever? Probably not. The Rays did open the series or their season sluggish, and they have stacked some wins here. They're at Steinbrenner Field. We talked about this the other day. It's about the same size porch as we see at Yankee Stadium while they renovate the pile of dung that is the Tampa Bay Stadium. The importance behind that is they're averaging 4.33 runs per game against a team that's not scoring. So you got your sniper out there. And then you look at home road splits for Tanner Houck. 7 runs on 9 2/3 innings. This guy ain't even going to get you to 5. Then you're going to go to your bullpen, and it's going to set up a miserable. Either one of 2 things happens. Either you sacrifice Houck to the baseball gods and you just let him get melted, and he loses this game like 14-2. Or you blow through your bullpen game 1 of this series, and you continue to lose and get swept in this series against the Tampa Bay Rays. Either way, it's a bad spot, in my opinion, for Boston. I jumped in on them Tampa Bay Rays. Keep a brisk pace. Well, look at this Kansas City Royals, New York Yankees game here. This one's had some considerable movement to the Yankees, but the Sharps aren't buying it. This is a Sharp respected bettor report talking about this Kansas City Royals team. -116's moved to -138. By the way, the Sharp respected betting on the NHL was in on on Los Angeles Kings. LA Kings, Sharp respected bettors. Let's move 50 cents. Good luck. It's probably an under. I think that's an under, by the way, for that game. May see that play come out later on. 22 cents of movement towards the Yankees. 88% of the bets and 64% of the cash coming in on Cookie Carrasco. 95% of the bets, 96% of the cash. This line has moved finally a half a run. I saw some action coming in earlier today on the under, but I don't know. I don't know if I can get involved in the under. I mean, if you look at the Yankees, 13 runs over the 3-game series at home against San Francisco. They had a 1, they fired off an 8, then they lost 5-4 yesterday. The Royals won 1 of 2 games. They're 1-2 against the Cleveland Guardians, coming off a win 4-2. It's tough to sweep a series. I was in Sean Higgs' chat earlier today saying that doesn't really factor too much for me. I do think about it, that it is tough to win a series, or sweep a series, but in any event, I talked about Salvador Perez, Bobby Witt Jr. These guys, Goldschmidt's another one too. 11 at-bats here. 11 at-bats. Blanking. Lugo. 11 at-bats against Lugo with a 636. So Goldie might be a good guy to get some action here from the stick, but it's not enough for me to get involved with this one. The bottom line is this. You got a guy in Cookie Carrasco who's a complete pile of shit. I mean, his numbers collectively, somehow he's 1-1. His ERA is a 7.71. He's terrible. He's been terrible. He just bleeds runs. And when the bats are hot for the Yankees, they can find a way to sacrifice it. But Seth Lugo not only plays well at Yankee Stadium, on the road in general, his road splits, 8-1 to the under last year. Games average 6 runs. He's hit 4 straight. 7 straight Lugo road starts against non-divisional opponents. So if Carrasco plays poorly and they have enough bats to get through it and find a way to be victorious with a 7.71 ERA, the question is who's on the other side? And the answer is Lugo, and he's out there nuking. He does have a 3.24 ERA, But look for this Kansas City bats to just be too much for this Yankees team to handle, in my estimation. You get down with the lower score. There you go. G. There's our guy G in the house. He says, fuck Cookie. Fernando says, fuck Cookie. Excuse me. Redbeard likes KC first 5. There's Flea Mathis in the house. Yeah. I think that's all legitimate and reasonable expectations. There we go. Kelly V says, Mets, Minnesota winners 9 of 10 by the run line. There we go. Lucky Power says, pimp slap the like button and share the video, fellas. Only takes a second. Can help us out a tremendous amount by just taking a second to make sure you smash that thumbs up button. And yeah, if you get the opportunity to help us promote this thing, like and repost, share the video, do all of that stuff. It's all open for business. And even if you want to clip a segment that's a terrible take and put it out there and say, what a bad take, then so be it. I'm good with all of that. But anything you guys can do to promote us, it's a lot different than me, right? Me or Ramon or MMA Jeff or Sub or, Joe, any of us going out there reposting our own stuff is one thing. But when you guys come through and kind of give us that validation, let everybody know we're here fucking winning, man. We're doing it on a regular basis. And rain, sleet, or snow, Sports Money stays good to go. Last game on the card for you guys early here. We'll see what I can do for some later stuff. Like I said, I got a little tied up this afternoon. People just like to stop by unannounced. But they're my buddies. I love them. What are you going to do? And I love you guys. So I want to come in here and give you guys the best bets I can fire away on here. I want us to get to 11-0 again here. But, man, that was last week was a good week. I'm just going to say that. We got the Tigers and Scooble. And we got the Brewers and Dover. Dover versus Subhuman Gaucho matchup here. Alexander on the bump here. I'm going to start to add these in here. I'm going to start to add the pitchers with their win-loss records and their ERAs. Overall, the Brewers opened up as dogs at home, and they have swelled. They have swelled because the bets and the cash coming in on Scooble. 73% of the bets and 88% of the cash. And the line, I guess it really hasn't moved too much. It was minus 158. It's minus 157. But it opened at plus 134. It's plus 143 on the Brewer side. So there's the old oscillator. Total sitting at 7.5. Hasn't moved. 93% of the bets and 85% of the cash hitting that over. Ain't no movement in that situation out there. Alexander pops in here with that 2.84 ERA. He's got himself a win on the season. Scooble. I don't know. What do you want to say about Scooble? I mean, look, the fact is he's got a 3.78 ERA. We've seen that some of these pitchers, though, that kind of come into the season, especially if they're in their sophomore season, aren't finishing the way they maybe are capable of. But I think this is a good Scooble spot. I don't think this is a good Brewer spot is what it comes down to. Brewers runs-wise, they scored 7 unanswered runs against Arizona. Then they get a 4-pack on Arizona, and then a 2-pack to finish the series off. But what it shows me is fatigue. Why fatigue? Because they played at elevation in Colorado. They had a 3 or 4 game series in Colorado. They finished that series off with 2 runs. Then they go to the flatlands in the desert in Arizona. Should wreak havoc. And so they had back-to-back high and lows. I'd imagine Arizona's pretty close to sea level, right? I'm not a fucking geologist here. Or a tapologist? A topographer? I'm not a topographer. But I suspect that taxes your body pretty good here. On the other side of things, you've got Detroit, Scooble. Yeah, they just came back from Minnesota. They went 2-1 in that series against Minnesota, but they also handled the Yankees. They've been finding consistency in their scoring. And generally speaking, we know that they send the pitcher back to where they're going to be ahead of time, so it's not a big deal. Boys got to get healthy. But they got plenty of weapons in the arsenal on this Detroit Tiger side of things here. Look, it's a tremendous Detroit spot. Sorry, Jover. It's just the stats. Scooble in game 1 of a series, if he's favored, he's 14-1. Can you believe that? 14-1 for Scooble as a favorite. When Detroit starts Scooble after a loss, he bounces back at 10-0. So everything does suggest Scooble, and because I'm not buying in, I'm thinking the fatigue factor, at least early in the series, on this Milwaukee side of things to me, I'm going to take the under 3.5. Now, here's what we have to be careful of. And I'm going to say this now because I checked it earlier and it wasn't the case. Last year we talked about the shittiest of books when it came to presenting the best number. You guys remember who it was? I'm going to tell you what. 2 times yesterday. 2 times. FanDuel presented the best number on a first 5. Juicy 4s, and everybody else is hanging 3.5s. And they both got nuked. And it's happened 3 of the last 5 days I've been checking on it. So keep your eyes open. We got to be very cognizant of FanDuel and when they're hanging those better numbers in baseball. Today they're not. Today they're not hanging the best number on the first 5. So I'm comfortable with that. Yeah, you know what? You cap it how you want, but I've seen this. This is where the experience comes in. We're not seeing things for the first time. We've seen this before. We talked about this last season. You'll hear me reference this year, last year, the year before. We've seen enough of this stuff time and again that we're not going to fall victim to it. You know, sometimes we might go outside of the box, and if we get lucky, we get lucky. But we'll keep our eyes on what FanDuel particularly has to say. And I don't mind saying that because they don't fucking sponsor us. Now, if they want to sponsor us, I'm happy to talk about their shit lines. But I'll go the other way. I'll give out the other side. I'll be unbiased. I won't shit on them for a bad line. I'll just tell you guys to take the other side. I did tell you I was going to take my 2-leg parlay for the home run spots tonight. I'll close the show with that for you guys here. I do have Salvador Perez and Mookie Betts. I parlayed the 2 together for 27-1. Mookie Betts and Salvador Perez are the 2 guys that I selected for my bang, bang, smack 'em up, no sweat bet. That's how we're going to put a bow on the show, you guys. Smash that thumbs up button. Please take the time to do that if you haven't done so already. And drop a comment. Any comment. Put a number. I don't care what it is. Say thanks. Put a thumbs up. Don't put a middle finger. Probably won't help us. But taking the time to make a comment in the algorithm. We know number 1 commenter in our YouTube stratosphere is Kelly V. I don't think anybody will catch this girl. But some of you guys are getting there. So I appreciate you taking the time to do that. Comment. On behalf of the Sports Money crew, thank you guys all for checking us out here. Go look at that post tab. Check out the 20 and 30 goal scorers list out there. Stay tuned. Turn your notifications on. Oh, the other thing I was going to say. One last thing I was going to say. What a terrible outro. You do have to follow us at Sports Money Wins on X. Here's what situation. I got it. Let me see if I can find it. Really quick. I'm going to show this to you guys because I say this all the time, and maybe some people believe me, or I'm not going to lie to you guys here. Ever. But here's what I'm going to show you. Can you see that? That's giving me the notification that we're live on Saturdays. Saturday's show started at 5:30. It's showing that we're live 2:30 today. So 2.5 days ago, we were live. And I just got the notification today at 2:30. That's real time. That's real life. I screenshotted it because I was like, man, I tell people this all the time. Make sure you follow us at Sports Money Wins. Follow me over at PimpSlapPOD. And again, on behalf of the entire Sports Money universe, hope you guys have a great Monday betting. Looking forward to working with the fellas this week and all you guys as we get that payday. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. We don't stop. Bring sleep.